Hey guys, how you doing? So, I was just sitting here thinking about how a lot of people live in fear today, and they always use that excuse and say, "Well, I have trust issues because I was molested as a child. I have dealt with people lying to me, disrespecting me, and stabbing me in the back and doing just awful things to me." And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, so do you really think the prophets in the Bible didn't have to go through that stuff too? But yet, I mean, if you read the Bible, some of the stuff that they went through is honestly more scary than anything we've had to deal with. But you got people nowadays saying, I can't serve God because he's too scary and he requires too much of me. And it's like, if you read the stories in the Bible, it's like they had more reasons to be afraid than what we do. I mean, you got people nowadays saying, I have anxiety. I can't be around people. I get nervous too easily. It's like, and it's like, David went out and fought a giant and he didn't even act scared or nervous or anything. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, but he ended up forgiving them in the end because he was a righteous man. And you got people nowadays who are so easily offended. It's like they act like they can't forgive somebody for annoying them one time. Like, oh, you annoyed me one time, so I can't forgive you and be around you. And it's like, grow up, will you? Like, seriously. Like, honestly, kids act more mature than adults do today. I mean, I mean, I remember this little girl I used to babysit. I was telling this guy yesterday, I said, watching that little girl was more quiet, more peaceful than being in a house full of adults. I mean, it's sad when a little girl is more quiet than a bunch of adults, isn't it? but but you got people nowadays, it's like everybody, I mean, if you want to know the truth, it gets on my nerves. Like, you got people that just worry too much about everything. Like, they worry about everything. It's like you can't even go out and just talk to somebody and say hi to somebody without somebody putting fear into you and saying, you can't just be walking up to people and saying hi to them. They could be crazy. It's like, well, that could be anybody. Anybody could be crazy. It's like you're not supposed to just stop living life and stop being friendly to people because somebody could end up being crazy. I mean, that's why you're supposed to pray about everything. That's why you're supposed to trust God. Some people treat me like I'm crazy because of the faith I have in God. When you have real faith in God, you can leave your house alone without worrying about people breaking into it. You can go into the grocery store and leave your purse alone and while you go to the bathroom for a few minutes, and you can trust that God will watch over your purse and not let nobody steal nothing out of it. I mean, heck, when you have real faith in God, you can even leave your child alone in the store for a few minutes while you go do something because you can trust the Lord to watch over your child. And some people might say, well, why in the world would I leave my child alone? Like, what kind of mother would I be if I left my child alone and didn't watch them? It's like, look here. If you can't even trust God, if you can't trust God, the creator of this universe, to watch over your child while you go do something, then how are you supposed to trust yourself? I mean, if it wasn't for God, you wouldn't even have your child. He was the one who created them. He's the one who put them together. And you want to sit there and act like you got more common sense than God? I mean, I'm not saying that you should just leave your kids alone all the time and not have common sense and just take chances and risk all the time. I'm saying if you're out in public and you feel like the Lord, like, I don't know, let's say you got to go to the bathroom real quick and you're about to take your baby in there with you, and if you felt like the Lord spoke to you, said, leave your baby here, he'll be fine, I'll watch over him. you'd be sitting there thinking, I can't do that. You know, something might happen, or people might say I'm a bad parent because I left my child alone. It's like I said, if you can't trust God, the creator of the universe, to watch over your children, you might as well not even try to be a parent, because if you can't trust God to watch over your house and you can't trust him to do other things, you can't do it then.